Hey everyone, and welcome back to another game of Ethlor Plays Go. Should probably turn on the no, what was it? Ambient sound, yeah. Um, yeah, just so I can hear myself because if I have my headphones on and if I can't hear myself, then it feels a bit weird. I'm playing today as Black playing against a one Don. Um, and yeah, here we go. So they approach right away. Um, I don't really want to respond, and I want to get that other corner as well. Seems like fun. Uh, I guess the only thing is that I may get this leading, but I'm not too worried. It'll be okay. So yeah, that's pretty standard. I can Tanuki even, but let's just do a little bit of pushing and then just make some points. I can either push or I can jump or I can play this Knight's move. And I think this Knight's move is probably the most stable answer. Pushing one more time gives white a little bit more influence, which I'm really not up for, and then jumping is possible, but then white can also get some pushing in, so I'll just play n2. Yeah, black is getting into it right away. So I can kick and extend, but I don't want to help black to build up over here. Um, yeah, I've had bad experiences with the kick and extend recently, so I'm just going to play 017. I enabled finding handicap games, but too bad we didn't find any handicap games today. White seems to be a pretty fast player, so we got to make sure not to follow their pace too much. But I guess in response to the attachment, it really is just the Hane. What else are you gonna play? And then yeah, I can either play S18 or I can maybe Atari here. There are also other Ataris that you can play, but this is the most standard. I think I mentioned in another video that S15 is something that's becoming more popular, but I haven't studied that more in depth yet, so I still have to update my knowledge on that. Since white has this formation, I think I want to play this move to keep white more flat. So that's what I'll play. And then here as well, basically the only move is just to connect. And now I can take Sente. So I can either approach down here or enclose this corner. And I think I'd like to approach just because it feels more like black is spreading out across the board a little bit. I guess there's also invading, but yeah, so here, do I have to even respond to white? What they're intending to do is they want to push many times and then maybe build up an area over here. A part of me is inclined to not allow that because I don't like when my opponents make a big area, but at the same time, they'll be giving me a lot of influence to build the top. And also, yeah, this since I didn't make any mistakes or anything, is something that white can do. I guess I can consider reducing later. Um, uh, yeah, but I shouldn't ignore this, so let's just get pushed a couple times, I suppose. I mean, I suppose that they feel like they were also being pushed a little bit low by having to play R13, but uh, I mean, I guess there's a lot of space, so you could still, like, maybe invade deeply. I wonder about giving the double Atari, but I think there's an Atari here, and then this shape is weak, so let's not go too crazy. Yeah, so that's their strategy. Mm. Once again, I don't like leaving these defects. I think Hane now should be okay, right? Say white cuts, then I'll have to recover the shape a little bit, and then maybe Atari connect, and then what do I do with the stone? So let's just extend. This may be a little bit passive, but the game is long, so don't worry too much about getting things wrong at the start. You may not have noticed what my opponent has won on. I actually might have noticed. I might have mentioned it just now, but we even have a couple of spectators which is really interesting. The big D really changes people's interest. Um, yeah, so they're just gonna keep pushing. But I think I have more liberties now. So I think like maybe I'll extend one more time, and if they push again, then I'll high. I mean I can't Tanuki. I have to respond to this. So yeah, I really don't like it when this kind of pushing happens, but it's fine. It's even for both players. I mean, there might be, as I said, like maybe AI will do different pushing at different times, but um, there's not a lot to like think about. Let's see, is this ladder working for me? Something to keep in mind. Okay, the ladder doesn't work for me. Um, I guess I could turn right here, but um, I don't really like it. Well, I guess it is kind of big, but mm, I can play one of these kinds of moves. I think that it can be the case that white looks stronger than they are. Because I know, like, for instance, if you didn't see this wall here, then playing Q17 is one way to start poking at the shape here. And then maybe black can jump out lightly. So, yeah, I think, like, but this area is quite big. Say that black plays over here, and this looks like black has a lot of potential and then can do things over here. I don't want to play again here because I don't like playing this, being at risk of playing the same pattern twice. Um, I actually, if white plays again, then I can try out this new E4 move I've been learning about. So don't have to play there. So I think I'm choosing between F16 and playing Q7. Um, and of the two, I think Q7 is perhaps more provocative, but at the same time, mm, I don't think that white can. Yeah, so I think it's between those two moves, and I think either one should be okay. It's just a matter of choosing what I prefer. Um, and I don't really like big moyo games, so I'm gonna invade. That's interesting. So that's not Sente, but um, for instance, like I could like come here and cut, but then that would make white stronger, and I don't like that. Um, Meanwhile, like what could white do? White like could maybe attach. Um, let's say I play here and cut. What happens next? Then there's a ladder, and the ladder works for black. So here, and there's no net, and then say like maybe white plays Atari, Atari, and then plays over here, and black can capture these stones. That would be quite painful. So what happens is if I attach over here, white will push, cut, and it gets pretty ugly, I think. So I don't think I would want to do it in this way. Hmm. I mean, I could also just play lightly, or even just make a base, just playing something like this that looks already quite reasonable. Because this doesn't put any pressure on black stone, and if black just lives here, then that's annoying for white. So let's try that. That's really interesting how they defended there. Because then I can just play a move like this, and I make a base really easily. And then I guess it's just a matter of like living with these two groups. Um, so if I play this exchange, then I think black's a lot stronger here. Then even if white gets a move like S3, then R2 might already be close to living. So let's help this group a little bit and then play S6. Yeah. So maybe white could play as far as R3. But I think even a turn here, black will be fine. Um, or I can just descend and maybe give up one stone here, but not quite sure how to respond. So let's play here. Black lived inside of white's area very, very easily. So I think this is good for black, and now I wonder how white is gonna try and get the advantage back. This move makes sense. Say I play here, there's white might need to connect, and then I play over here, but let's just play this Hane. Black very easily lives on both sides. White didn't add enough pressure to black, it seems. But it's a 1-dan, so the game is still long. That's interesting. Um, I'm just gonna play this one. I mean, if white plays in here, I don't think it's such a big deal. I could respond, but I think that's a bit passive. I think this is more important. I mean, especially because it threatens Q5 next, and then I can capture these stones. Everything's connected. White even captures stones, like it's bad. Yeah. So now that stops Q5 from being a thing. Say white plays something like Q9 and then Q8. Um, I guess like if white seals black in entirely, then there's still the knight's move to live. So white will need to play something like S11, and then black will come out, Hane, and then extend. So there might still be an Atari on these stones here, and then I don't think black can really get out so easily. So I think there's this cut here, which will also be a little bit interesting because this group's not alive, and then this group's not alive either. If I extend out to the center, because playing S12 is good to live, but maybe not good to play right away. So I play S12, push, cut, Atari, extend, maybe not. So Atari, extend, also difficult. So maybe push once and then jump. Push here, Atari, and then the ladder works. So here, so let's say that white, Hane, black plays, cuts, then it's all right. So white might be able to surround black, but if I push out, then might still be able to live. So what happens if I Tanuki? White plays, push here, push. Uh, not so great. Hmm. I can just live, but I don't. I don't know. Here it makes more sense in terms of shape, I think. Maybe white will try to cap, but then I can Tanuki. I think I'll be okay. I mean, I think like maybe black is already safe. Maybe I can just Tanuki now. I'm thinking too much about this. I won't have time later in the game. No, let's just be stable. Unfortunately, I think that's the right choice. So let's try come out over here. Lots of reading going on today. Did I invade too early? I don't really think so. I mean, white's not really making a lot on the bottom of the board. Getting lots of messages. I might have slowed their pace down by just thinking so much. Because yeah, I mean, I have 14 minutes, and they have still more than 20 minutes on the timer. So yeah, I was really thinking a lot there. because white pushing here really gave away a lot of points for black, or at least a lot of influence. So I don't think this will be enough to compensate. Getting these moves in doesn't feel so good. I wonder if white will respond because I felt like N9 was a pretty common sense way to play, but I don't think it really does anything for white, so I don't think white will necessarily play there. The main reason why I was reading it was just to make sure that my group would be okay if that happened. Um, so I think white should approach or maybe deal with the cut at M4 because now this P9 move where I bulge has strengthened that group a lot, and so white's not completely safe. Yeah, so that makes sense. But now black can just Tanuki, I think. Maybe G4 might be interesting, but I don't think I should be too greedy. So let's play F16. That's reasonable. Trying to expand their area. How should I respond? So I'll just play here. It's standard. Normally I might play an abbreviated shape like B5 to try and get Sente, but I don't think that I really need to be so worried about taking Sente so fast. I wonder what White's thinking about, because I think E6 is pretty reasonable. I mean, you could play the Tiger's Mouth, but I think that would be too easy for Black to reduce this area. So I don't think that's what White wants. Also, I'm not so worried about White making something in this area, and I think like attaching helps Black to develop this left-hand side. Um, I mean, it's not like mistakes or anything, but you know, feels okay. All right, so they played normal move, and I think I'll follow up the same way, and then just make a base. Yeah, well, I can try this. So I can double Hane, but I don't think it'll work, so I'll just extend. And this shape is a little bit good for black, because white could have played b8 instead and kept black lower. This is also a move that you can play, but I'm not afraid about this life and death status of this group. I guess the only thing that I don't want is that white gets this move and seals black in very strongly. So I might like push once, maybe they Hane and then Tsunuki. You know, maybe they won't respond, but I don't know. Maybe not. I think like psychologically they would want to follow up on O8. But I think that this area probably isn't the most important, and maybe black should Tanuki. But the only thing is I don't want white to get this move, so that's why I respond. But I don't think they should respond to this. I think they should see this as an exchange and then say it's a bad one. And then if white plays again, then they've left a crack behind, and that's enough for me. Once again, like black might start thinking about deep invasions, but I don't think black can get past this fourth or fifth line here. So it's just a matter about playing something like f9, because that will expand black's area while reducing white. So I think that's pretty big. Meanwhile, playing a move on the top to secure that more as territory might also be valuable. Um, yeah, so I think that unless white has a good attack against this group, then this game is difficult for white. And because of that, I don't think white should really respond, and they should play something like f9 instead. I mean, let's think about that trade, which I should have thought more of before playing this move. Say I play here and white gets this move. Would it have been so painful? Because black could then turn over here. So even if white gets this move, well, I guess push in this Atari, so that would have reduced the ice base over here. But black would still be able to Atari, extend, knight move. So then maybe white would want to start with something like So say white got a move here, I played away, um, push, connect, and then over here. So it would really reduce black's eye space a lot, I think. So I'm going to play over here now because, as I said, this cut's enough for me. Yeah, that's the thing. So I have two responses. I can play this one or over here. I think this makes more sense because I don't want to expose this vital point. I might just let white have these two stones if it means I can live more certainly. Because I'm not so worried about these stones. Yeah. Mm. So then over here. But I think there's enough eye space here to live on the side for sure. For sure, for sure. And I don't need to sacrifice these stones. So what I'm wondering is if white's shape gets thin here. Because, for instance, this Q5 move might be interesting. Um, this move. So let's say that I play N18 and white goes for... There's a ladder. So say M18, Atari, capture, or wait, no, Atari, yeah, capture. Or well, it's not really a capture. So Atari, um, Atari capture, Atari here, 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 and then here, here. So that it could be a bit gnarly. There are some issues here, which makes sense. Um, so I can try and make white heavier, I think. We can try that. So let's read more specifically what's going on here. So Atari here, Atari, connect Atari here, capture even. So actually it might even be really short in liberties. Here. Da, 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 da. Why am I so bad at reading? Atari here, play. Okay, no, I have two liberties, but it is not great. Say that I pincer. Is it really a great move for white? I mean, they might Hane. I do think there are like shape issues. There are shape issues. And I could Atari, but I don't think that I think that just makes white stronger. So I think it's probably best to just admit that there are issues and then be stronger. Is it submissive though? Is white weak? But I don't think so. I mean, I could Atari and then just connect. And then this ladder works for black, you know? Whereas I could pincer and then, yeah, I just don't like this O16 move. So let's just make sure I'm thick here. I'll have to see. Okay, here I definitely shouldn't be too lenient. So I'm going to pincer here. I think that makes sense. Not saying that white can't live or get anything, but you know, I shouldn't be too passive. So I want to play D17 because when I have this K17 stone, then playing this E17 variation will be difficult. Maybe white can crosscut, and then the ladder over here. So the ladder works for white. Yeah, so I should be aware about that. So what do I do in the event of a crosscut? I'll probably just extend. Um, Maybe they'll live small in the corner. I think that might be the main issue. Um, well, I guess, I mean, what I can also try is play here, but that's really submissive. I don't like that. Or even here. Also, I'm just going to play confidently. I need more experience with this shape. Anyway. Yeah? So if that's the case, I'm going to play like this. And connect. And here. Really interesting. Um, I can't remember how to play. I think I should just jump here because that's the move that black would play anyway. I mean, I think the only thing is like pushing here, and then I'm not sure. Um, Hane cuts, and then playing over here, jump. This crane's nest. Yeah, crane's nest. So I don't think I should extend here. I mean, if here, then I'll have to jump somehow, and the white connects, and that's bad shape. So I'm just going to jump out. Meanwhile, white's still under pressure. What I'm wondering is if white turns, am I able to honey, or do I have to play d14 first? That's interesting. I can just press white down, maybe? I can hane, but I don't know why to be so jealous about this area. Wouldn't it be nicer just to press white down? Hmm. I'll just respond here and then connect and see what white does. I mean, white can cut, and then I can Atari and then play here. So black will be okay, and then maybe playing this move is pretty big. Um, just because like I can play L17, but I'm not really interested in this area. And then I think that white has too much ice shape. So I think white will be relatively safe anyway. So I'll play over here. So once again, what's going on here? So I can do like something like a cut. Say I play like push, Atari, Atari, and then yeah, playing here would already be annoying. So I think that there are some weaknesses. Is this even big? Is this something I really care about right now? Isn't there anything else to play? R18 maybe seems pretty decent. Or this weaknesses over here. This will be Sente. Um, I think this will be too loose, so I'll have to play something like this. I could probably even expand my area a little bit by playing here. Hmm. So let's read something over here. What's going on? So I can play this. I think white will just connect, so I should like cut. Um, and then say white plays like a bamboo joint to make this area stronger, then I can Atari. But I don't think those moves are really that useful. So I can either respond, I can play R18, or I can play G8. And I think G8 might be more important, or maybe even like H8, because this expands while reducing white. So that's really important. Whereas I don't think that the weaknesses here come to anything, and R18 is important, but so long as we can still make this topic important, that will be bigger. So I'll play here. I mean, I guess maybe if white gets Q17, then maybe this group will become bigger, but I can always come back. And if white plays here first, then I can play R18 as well. So I think this group is relatively stable. Um, yeah, so I'll just play. I guess this group can still become kind of weak, but probably not. I don't think this works. I guess that's the whole point of playing d14. If d14 doesn't work, then what's the point? That would work more if d18 wasn't there, and then also white would need to play something like b16 to shorten this group of liberty here. So I don't think that does anything. But luckily that's so deep into black's area anyway that I don't think it really matters. Meanwhile, a move like k16 would make this stone a lot weaker. Because here, Hane, Atari, extend, extend. No, yeah? Yeah. I mean, maybe eventually black would have to come back over here. I don't know. Let's see. So here, Atari, here, capture, Atari, here, and then capture. Yeah. So maybe I need to play a move like J16 instead, but then white would be able to come out, and then maybe there's some Aji here. So maybe there isn't so much in that stone, but the R18 move is otherwise quite big. And then I guess we should play some endgame, like M1 might be good. Or like capturing here, or figuring out what's going on with these moves. It's been a pretty peaceful game, though. The game has also felt really short. I guess it's because I spent most of that time thinking, and then white hasn't used as much time as I have yet. But they're catching up. They're using their time more now. One thing that I wonder is, say, hmm, okay. So they admit it, and then they somehow think there was weaknesses here, but I don't think that this was as weak as I thought initially. I guess we can block white from coming into this area, continue to grow, or I can play R18. What's bigger? This area is bigger, isn't it? But it's a bit thin, which I don't like. So I think something like this would be more reasonable. Because here, attach Hane, crosscut, or something. Yeah, I can get weird. So here, attach Hane, crosscut, and then what? Like Atari, and yeah, so maybe white could be able to run out. But surely this move is really slow. But at the same time, what else is there to do on this board, right? I can't even play this actually, because after whites, then O3 will capture this group, so I can't do that. So I don't even have good endgame. What else can I do? I mean, a move like E18, but I think white easily has two eyes, so I don't think that's worth it. And then there's other endgame moves, so I'm going to play here. And then I guess we should count. Let's do that quickly while I still have time on the clock. So white has, say, 5 points here, and then over here is the main other points. So here's 6, 6, 8, 10 maybe. So 10 plus 5, 15. And then over here, this is like 16 points. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 25 points. 25, there isn't any endgame here. And then say over here, that's another, I don't know. I mean, that could be 15, but I don't really think so. I think it's probably more like 10. 10 plus 20 is 30, plus 15 is 45 points for white. Because white doesn't have Comey, and then black has... So white had 45 points. Black has... maybe that's more like 5 points. And say that's more like 6. So that's like 10 points right here. And maybe over here, this is another 5, 10 points. Maybe like 12. So say this is like 12 plus 10 is 22. And then, oh, this is really deep. That's really deep, white. So then over here, then I have this territory. So let's say this is like, this is 12, and then 12 and 8 is 20, plus whatever's over here. So what was that? That was like 12, 20 is uh, 32, and then I have at least 10 points here, I think. So say I have like 10, 11, 17. Yeah, so I think black's ahead. I probably don't even have to make up to this point of territory, but say I play this move, how does white get out? I have no idea. This must be too deep. So here, extend Hane here. And then so here, Atari, and Atari connect, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Atari, and then it has to connect out. But then this is Atari, and so there's like weaknesses that white leaves behind. Um, I can play softer, but I don't think it's necessary. And then I can play over here, but this looks a bit too deep. But if I make the up to here, then that's already quite good for black, isn't it? I don't think I necessarily have to make more. Mm. So it's just a matter of, do I trust my counting? Say black white plays something more slippery like this, then a push and cut, Atari. So while I thought that this was too deep, I also don't see like a really easy way to respond. Like I could cap, break, knight's move, push, cut, extend, and capture that stone. So it's not that easy because it's here I could cut, but then white will sacrifice those stones. So yeah, I don't really see a really easy way to put white behind. So I can play here, but that's not Sente. So let's just play here because I think that I'm ahead enough on points, and then I don't really see an easy way to capture white. The key point being that white can treat the stone lightly and then still reduce this area a little bit. Key word there, I guess, being a little bit. But I mean, if I play here, then there's like what 12 more points than I was expecting. So yeah, this left side here is way too big, and I can still play R18, which is still pretty important. I think I'm more inclined to try and move like J9 now because white can't enter deeper into black's area. Yeah, okay. So I play here, Atari, capture, extend. There's an extra liberty, which is helpful. Um, Play here, and then here, yeah. I think this is like the safest move locally. Mm, here or here? I don't think it really matters. This one or here? I mean, white can play over there and then capture and come back, so this way, I suppose. Oh, come on, let me get M1. I really want it. I really want that endgame. It's been a pretty enjoyable game. And since white seems to have Sente, it seems that white is actually behind. I know that's not like I mean, we did the actual count, so we can be confident, but this is interesting. So if I play something like R18, white is going to descend. Say I block one side, then they'll connect. Therefore, I shouldn't play that. I should play something more over here. Comes up. Yeah, so this could be difficult. Mm. Or say I play this over here. Here, there, has to connect. Mm. So here, Atari, here, connect. And then here. Yeah, I think that it's easier for black to break out into the center anyway. Say I play T18, what happens next? Atari, connect. Here, Atari. And then here, block. I'm more curious of a move like T8. This is a good move, but I'm going to run out of time. Um, Not a lot of time to think. Maybe a move like T6 would be better, because that would threaten to come underneath, wouldn't it? No, not really. No, 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 not really. But interesting idea. It's interesting because this looks like the vital point. Say I played over, say R8, descend, and then over here, connecting. Maybe I could like throw in and play here, connect, here, extend, cut. White would need to connect here, and then I could play, use these weaknesses to capture these stones here. So I think that there's still some things that black can do. But I need to be careful. If I die, then I might lose the game. At the same time, black needs to try something, and I don't see a clear answer for black. So I think that's eight's a pretty good move. I can give that to white. Yeah. So I play over here. That's quite interesting. Can't try and connect underneath. Or like this. Atari, then connect here. That's over time. Hmm. Okay, I'm gonna have to come out this way. Because if I connect, then white will reinforce and I won't get another chance, so I have to come out now. That's already pretty annoying. Oh, I think I'm dead. And just extending here would be enough. Maybe I can try break out over here, but the game's over, I think. It's annoying how quickly that ended. I invaded too deeply. I shouldn't have tried to invade so deeply. It was too risky. I don't know what they're thinking about. Black is dead. Just S12 and the game's over, basically. I mean, there's only like weaknesses, but there are no weaknesses here. There is nothing. I have an idea for how to stay in the game, but I don't think it'll work. I think black should defend this M10 stone next. Yeah. So I have to play over here. Keep this group unstable as much as I can, even if I don't think it really works. And then stop another eye from forming here, but I can't. I can't prevent it all. It's too much. Yeah, that's game over. I'm gonna play to the end out of spite. I mean, say that I invaded too deep, then this area is going to be whites anyway. So, mm, if that's true, then the game still might be salvageable. Say I play a move like J16 now, that might be more difficult, but I think like a move like D18 and then white can live. So I don't think that there's a way to kill white. Oh, there's a cut over here. Let me think. Here, and then here, here. Well, it might be a little bit overplay though. Okay, that's good. And then can I extend? Probably best not. Hmm. If I play over here, this could get interesting. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, there's a connection here. It's no problem. I think black still made some good points. We can use, actually, h9. So let's play this one, because if white doesn't capture, that gets ugly. These two stones. Black is suddenly doing a lot, yeah. So I play this one, then push, 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 yeah, push. Or actually, maybe I could play here, but no good. I might still be able to use h13 to strengthen this connection here, but it's difficult. But I get m1 in Sente. I need to not forget that. Yeah. So let's get m1 in Sente while I still can. Yeah. So let's get this m1 move. And then this way. I don't know what the better way is. I think this way makes more sense than here. So I guess this area might be getting a little bit big, but S18 is also pretty important. A9, or A4 rather. Lots of moves. So let's see where white plays first. I don't think that's big. So let's get this one first. And then it's between S18 and maybe like playing another move over here. I think this will be bigger actually, because if white turns. I mean, I can play this Atari and then here, as opposed to playing here first and then there are almost no points here. This is still a bit small. Say, like, push here, here, here. No liberties. Here, here. Atari connect. Maybe you can capture the stone, but, like, this is bigger. So I'm... push, and then play here. So here, well, it's a shame, but black's still okay. So wait. White's still getting a lot of moves in Sente, but I guess when you're in endgame, that's less of a valid heuristic. Mm. Okay, let's say that this point is pretty big. Of course. And then I can take Sente again. Hmm. I hope it's not too loud for you guys. Yeah, and then what next? This cut looks annoying. And then maybe like coming back over here. I don't think this is as annoying. And then some kind of a move here. Slowly the game is finishing off. This move will be big. Yeah, that's okay. Also. And now here. And then this will be big. I guess maybe I could have pushed at Q4 or something, but yeah, I need to respond to that. Maybe I can move like K19. Let me see here. Connect. Also, that's nice that we can move some liberties from D15. Yeah. Also, eventually big. Let's play here, Sante. But I have to be careful, as always, when I remove my own liberties. This is going to be Gote, so no. Let's see, what moves do we have left? This is Sente, and I'll be okay afterwards. And what else? This is a point as well. And here. Also over here, but I guess this is bigger. Now I can't connect this, so I have to play here. And something like this. I can't believe it. I can play endgame a little bit. kind of make it to the game without end of the game without a big blunder. I mean, I guess like losing the group wasn't so pleasant, but I don't really count it necessarily as a blunder. The shape was just weak. Mm, let's see what now. I think there are just neutral points now. Oh no, and five. Are they gonna find it? It's a bit messy over here, so not easy to read. They're also in overtime. No, 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 no. They missed it. Now it is. Ah, it was too bad. Oh well, I tried my best. See you all in a minute for review. All right, a bit of a, well, not necessarily a simple game, but you know, just one turning point here. So up to here, everything's okay. And yeah, so here I shouldn't have. I mean, I could invade, like it can. It's one of the recommended moves from the AI, but I didn't have to. I could also just play something like this. Because like I said, there was no mistakes here. White building this up this area is normal. And I'm playing black, so I should be okay with playing the influence style. So here, this is too passive, and then let's see, played some moves, all okay. And then I Tanuki. Um, so to here, and this was quite confident. So, so I didn't see this mistake here. I didn't necessarily think this was a mistake. So here, and then, oh, I see. That's quite annoying. So here can capture. Oh no, but this. Yeah, but I can still connect down here. So now connect. And what happens now if, say, white captures and black plays here? Okay. So this was the vital point. It was quite important. But yeah, so say I play over here. Yeah, so I messed up. I even have this as a memorized because I memorized sequences that are very common. So this should be a somewhat common set. This move itself is more common with a different Joseki. But let me see if I can demonstrate it quickly. So we go up to here, da 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 da, and then say black plays somewhere else. So say we play like here, and then this move is so if the same sequence appears, then black is short on liberties. So that's why this move here is quite common. So if we go back to this mistake here, then that's why I was afraid of this. So here, so we play the same sequence again. AI even responds here, which is so confident I can't even believe it. But even if this is not Atari, and then this is double Atari, so there's nothing that white can do here. So playing this extension here is way too passive. And then over here, yeah, when white's attached, I could just play over here, which is actually a move that was played against me in a tournament game where I played a similar kind of attachment. And I was expecting that black would play here in the other game, but then black played over here, and that was really, I almost died because of that. So yeah, you can see that now this group doesn't have any eyes, so that would have been much better. So yeah, that would have been much too slow. Yeah, this was also a bit too slow. So this area here was more important than both players kind of realized, and then white realized it first. I could have played some moves here, but it becomes a bit awkward. So I was thinking what I was reading was something like this, but what might happen instead is here, white Atari's from this side, and then there's a weakness here. So then da 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 here and then here a couple of times, and then connecting, and then this gets difficult. So not something I'm very confident with. So I think even if this is a mistake, like it goes from black plus 7 to black plus 8 plus 4 somehow. Um, But yeah, so that's enough. Anyway, I knew Reddit and black was ahead, and so given that this is alive, so that I think like given my evaluation of the board, this move wasn't so bad. Um, so in here, I was in Byoyomi as you saw, so I couldn't really think it out. I mean, I intuitively thought of these two moves, and then I mean like T7 isn't the best. So what I could do is say a move like this. I was thinking about playing here, but this move is better because it removes a liberty from white and black can make an eye shape. So here, and then basically what white can do is play this way. Can't because here there's a ko. So then white has to extend, then play inside here, and then again, and this one has to connect, this one has to connect, this one has to connect, and then play over here. White might have to defend, or well, has to defend, and then Atari connects, Atari, and black is basically out at this point. So there were some weaknesses that black could use. Say that white plays what they did in the game. Say they play here, then what black can play over here, and I had a somehow in the when I was reviewing this offline, this N10 stone wasn't here, but then you can obviously that black can play here and can live, or even can extend out here for an even more optimal results. Um, so I should have tried to connect that Aji a little bit, how the shape here wasn't complete. Um, there are also other ways that could you could play. So like this, over here, white will try to connect here, and then there's this ko. And so, yeah, there were a couple of ways to play. So I'm sad that I didn't find either of these moves. If I would have kept playing along these lines, and maybe I would have found it. But to be fair, it was difficult. Um, so could I have played this vital point earlier? I mean, I guess I could have played it now. Uh, and then maybe I can poke this shape point and connect and come deeper over here. But yeah, black has still enough points to win, so that probably would have been okay. So yeah, that's basically the game. It basically all revolves around this me running out of time over here, and that happened because I invaded too deeply, and I didn't have to invade that deeply, because it means I need to then save the group, and that's something that I'm weak at. So if I wanted to control the game, I wouldn't have freaked out and invaded, but I thought that by invading it would have been a game that would have been better for me. That's not necessarily true, although it seemed that it worked out okay. Oh well, it's a game. So yeah, I'm glad that you stopped by for the review, and I will see you all in the next game. If you enjoyed this, like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, that's the spiel.